Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition,
Lighthearted look at
a lighthearted look at
relationships. Fantastic.
relationships.
I'm Testicles, and
Uh,
I know it's a gift.
it's, I'm not even going to be the other half of that, so forget it.
So before I
I'm not gonna be
begin,
anal about it.
before I begin, most of the stuff I'm going to say has been borrowed by somebody else. I wish I could say I've made all this crap up, but that's absolutely not the case. So I just thought I'd let you know.
He's literally made it up from somebody else.
That's right. That's pretty much true. So my wife and I went over to a friend's house right after that big old isolation. Walked in and say, "Hey, where's your husband?" And he goes, "Oh, he's in the garden." I said, "Well, we didn't see him when we walked up." And he goes, "You got to dig a little deeper."
Oh.
You know what I've learned the past 2 years?
What have you learned?
I've learned that there are way more people that are dumber than I thought.
Yeah, and I just knew they proved.
And that's it. I haven't learned anything else.
Unfortunately, we got proven right on that that part. They just
Right.
came out in troves, just in troves, just holy shenanigans.
There you go.
Holy shit buckets. so lighthearted look.
Lighthearted look.
What were we doing? Relationships.
Relationships.
Yeah, relationships. That's
Speaking of relationships, if you ever
he's
see
hot.
me talking to myself, just move along because I'm self-employed and I'm having a staff meeting.
yeah. He's building intimate relations with himself.
That's right.
He's having a private meeting.
It's a relationship meeting, so you never know.
Out in the open.
That's right.
There's no privacy there.
No, I got a special gift. I can ring that doorbell anytime I want. I just have to go to the bathroom.
Excuse me. Yes.
So relationships.
Yeah. So relationships, whether it's a business relationship, personal relationship, private relationship,
Right, there you go.
they all need maintenance. They all need, I think the main thing is communication. And and not that one sex is more adamant about it or the other, but when I read a lot of, profiles from women, it's the one pet peeve that they have is like, I just need guys to communicate what they're feeling or what they're saying or, just communication in general. And I find it very interesting that, well, there's always that lacking from women as well. I look at a lot of profiles and I see a lot of complaints about women, about men on dating apps and, about what they don't want to see or what they do. But then the same, I don't know if they realize the same is for men. I'm looking at these profiles and you're just seeing a lot of miscommunication on their profiles. Women, they tend to not want to show their profile, or they show grainy pictures, or they're covered, or always wearing sunglasses. It's like they're hiding constantly. So it's like that's another form of communication where they're just like, yeah, they want something, but they're not willing to show who they are.
Speaking of communication, when I was a kid, my mom would ask me
more.
probably more than once. My mom said, if a stranger came up to you and asked, "I'm your mom's friend," and she would tell me, "I'm your mom's friend. I came here to pick you up." Now, would you believe her? And I'd said, "Mom, I don't believe her. You don't have any friends." Oh.
That happened to me one time.
Yeah.
Yep. Guy came out of his taxi.
Your mom doesn't have friends?
No, guy came out of the taxi and goes, "Hey, your mom's in the cab." And I'm at the red light waiting, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, he literally was trying to grab me, so I started kicking him.
Oh, wow.
My mom popped out of the cab and goes, "Baby."
Oh, so the guy was telling the truth.
So I was looking at him going, "Sorry," and just dashed over to mom. I was like 6 years old. Mom goes, my mom was like apologizing to the guy. Goes, "Look, no need to apologize. I understand. He doesn't know who I am."
That's right.
I'm like, "Yeah, you don't." So yeah, his shins were feeling it that day, I'm sure.
No doubt.
Don't do it. Communication. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I have a question to ask you. Do you think twins ever realize that one of them is unplanned?
Well,
What do you think? I think that's possible. I don't know.
It's a 1 in a million.
Yeah, there you go. 1 out of 2.
It's a 1 out of 2 shot.
That's right.
if you're one in a million, then who the hell am I?
There you go.
You know, I was looking at it, I go, wait a minute. Am I divided? Yes, you got divided.
There you go.
And not even down the middle, damn it.
Damn it. Here's something to think about. Every time you clean something, you make something else dirty. I want you to think about that for a minute. Every
Huh.
time you clean something, you make something else dirty.
Yeah. They're the thing that you're cleaning wet.
There you go.
Ooh. Woo! Hey, El Comunicado, Bubba. Right there. Me and whatever. We're right there. You know what I'm saying?
You know that many animals need glasses, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. To see any other way than the way they see.
What? What? What's wrong with you?
Well, they don't see the way we see.
Well, no, that's true.
You know,
That's very
colors and
true.
you know, that's the interesting. Like the tiger. You know, like the tiger in the forest. I think we covered that last time.
We probably did. And
You know, like why deer don't see them. You know, because we see them because they're fucking orange. You know, like hello, it's. But they're like, nope, just different shades of green. You're like, how about that? So I guess it's just a warning sign for us
it could be.
that hey, I'm here hunting. Get the fuck out of the way. I got my yellow vest on.
There you go.
Don't shoot me. I'm hunting.
Beautiful.
Deers are like, no, please go ahead. Shoot the bush. It's moving.
Right. So here's something to think about. Now, if CO2 is ruining our planet, and plants excel CO2, then vegetarians are killing us by eating plants.
That's what I'm saying, and nobody really talks about that. It's an interesting part of communication. You know, is you know, they're killing plants. You know, and what I do is like when I only eat the thing that kills the plants. See what I'm saying?
You are eating people?
No, you know, animals.
Okay.
That way, I'm not killing the plants directly. See, I'm just getting the benefit of the plant by eating the meat.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You know, because I only eat vegetarian animals.
You eat vegetarian animals.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that makes
You know, I don't
no
eat,
sense whatsoever.
I don't
but
eat
that's it.
lion, tigers, hyenas, wolves. You know, I just do deer,
Most people
elk,
don't eat in California.
bison.
United States,
know.
they typically don't eat lions and
I'm just
tigers.
talking in general.
Bears, oh my.
I've been to too many places, so I'm just saying. You know, wildebeest. You know, I eat vegetarian animals.
You know, you need to get a woman with a warrant because they'll never call the police on you. Yeah, just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, I appreciate. I'll let all women know as well.
Yeah.
On my next profile.
There you go. You know, I told you I was an EMT and a medic for a long time.
And you know,
And one of the things I always told people, I said, listen, make sure you don't do anything that you want to explain to a paramedic. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Bottles and, you know, whatever.
And gerbils.
Yeah, that too.
Gerbils. Poor Richard. No. I don't know if it's true, but that's just an embarrassing moment. You know. Why are you here?
Don't know.
I've got a gerbil. Where? Places I don't want to tell you. Oh. And it's really itching and scratching me in all the wrong places.
Nice.
I really hate to be anal about it, but you really need to help me.
Right.
But you know, again, back to communication. So I ended up, you know, extending my stay here in lovely sunny California before I head back again for the third time. I was supposed to go back to Europe. So
You could tell we're really different.
yeah. Definitely different parents. Definitely. You know, I was loved much more.
No question.
No answer.
But she was blind.
That is true. She was standing in a precarious way, in a precarious place. They knew what happened with me.
There you go.
Not so much, you know. Not so much. But anyway, so with communication, it's I ended up extending my stay, but I also reached out to a lot of people that I do business with, and made sure I was able to cover my bases before I, you know, paid that exorbitant fee, and you know, was able to make sure that I was able to cover all my expenses threefold in return. So, you know, that way that's good business and, you know, good communication, building good relationships with people.
Speaking of communication, Speaking of communication, I got a friend who's a cop, right? And so he calls the station on the radio, you know, and he says, I got an interesting case. He said, there's there's this old lady who shot her husband for stepping on the floor she just mopped. So they called back and they said, well, did you arrest her? And the guy goes, no, the floor's still wet.
Oh, right. Because, you don't want to be victim number 2.
Nope, you
Yes.
do not.
That's what you call silent communication.
That's right. I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago and
You feeling better?
yeah, now until this moment. So I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago, and he goes, if you have a vasectomy, you won't have any kids. So I had their operation. I got home, and the kids were still there.
Yeah.
He lied to me. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
He lied to me.
Yeah, it's that lack of communication.
It's all about communication.
There was a barrier of non-clarity,
Right,
because actually you didn't get that didn't help you at all,
right.
at all,
Yeah,
because you already had the kids,
absolutely,
Just that,
absolutely.
it's the little things, If you don't communicate the little things, the big things just become explosive. As in this relationship that I have, it's a bit of a long distance.
It's not us.
No, definitely not us, because we have the same family, people, sort of kind of non-relations, but we're connected, but not in that kind of way, I think we've communicated that a lot over the years.
I think so too. So speaking of communication and kids,
you keep interrupting this
I
communication.
do keep interrupting. That's all about
Terrible
communication.
communication here, not picking up on the ebbs and flows of Go ahead.
So it's it's really important to mess with your kids when they're young.
Absolutely.
So my
part of
daughter walks into our bedroom a long time ago when she was really young. She goes in there and she says, "Can I sleep with you guys? I'm really scared." And I said, "Heck no. You can't. I can't risk that monster following you into our bed and killing us." So she got scared and cried. It was a beautiful moment.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She never came back, did she?
Yeah, no, she didn't. She's
Yeah.
still gone.
Yeah, she's still gone. Yeah, she has. She
Moved in with her grandparents or something.
because they won't do that to her.
I know. All the calls I've made, they still won't.
So, a quick, scenario here.
Communication.
Communication. Had,
Go
great.
ahead and finish. I have another communication story.
Please let me finish this.
finished?
Before I finish in another way.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, got this great relationship going, almost 2 years into it. Had a couple of moments where there was these little communication hiccups, and I was like, hey, babe, just let me know what it is you need, or what you want to express, what you want me to understand. I said, and let's talk about it, and that way we don't have these hiccups of me trying to guess what it is that you're experiencing or feeling, or what's going on in your world, especially when I'm 6,000 miles away. But I know something's going on. She's not telling me, but the face doesn't lie. The words coming out of somebody's mouth is one thing, but the look on the face tells you a whole lot of different things besides what's coming out of the mouth. They weren't correlating. So hence that, picked up on that communication. I go, babe, what's wrong? Hey, honey, what's happening? She kept telling me everything's fine. I'm like, nothing is fine, obviously, because I keep asking you, you keep telling me everything's fine and it's not. So finally, got over that hump. So now, months later, 6 months later, and everything is normal as far as I know. And I keep asking her questions because she's finishing up on her internship, and she's in her last 6 months, but now she's like in her last semester, just doing her internship. But during that period of that last 6 months, she keeps picking up these responsibilities at the university. I'm thinking, why are you doing that? I said, it's not going to make that much difference for your resume or anything else at that point. And she just, stressing herself out. In the meantime, I'm watching her, WhatsApp notifications, where you can see what the people are doing when they're videoing stuff. So she's at the gym. Next thing I know, she's at the club. And then silence. Like she's at the club and then falls off for a whole week. Now here in the West, the US, Europe, somebody's gone for 48 hours. It's an Amber Alert. We're like, okay, where are you? We're calling the school, we're calling friends, we're reaching out to the cops. I mean, if it's non-normal behavior, that's what we're doing. And we're talking about, it's 5 days now, and I'm reaching out to the university. I finally get a text back. She is absolutely furious with me because I cared to find out what was going on. And finally 5 days, she sends me this message. She just needed time for herself. and from everybody else because she was going through stress and overwhelmed and having a meltdown, and I thinking, wow, that's the response I get from being concerned and wanting to know if she's okay, because weeks prior, or about a month prior, she was trying to get a job overseas in Europe selling high-end real estate. And so, but it's also in those particular countries, there's like a dark part of people getting kidnapped, or people from other countries go there, and then there's that possibility. And so my mind's thinking a month later, she's contacted these people in her country, and I don't know who's following or who's tagging along. All I know is she's at a club having a good time, and then nothing for 5 days, and I shouldn't be concerned. So I'm like reaching out to my friends here, talking to other people, going, what do you think about this? She goes, yeah, you're totally okay. It's what you should do. Imagine if I didn't do this. Imagine you're in the US, okay, and you have a girlfriend, a wife, boyfriend, whatever. They go missing, and you do nothing, right? Imagine the response you're going to get from people is not going to be exactly roses. All right? So basically, I'm getting egg on my face. I'm getting slapped, digitally, if you will, all right, over being concerned. And I reached out to people over IG, everything else, reached out to local police. By the way, I have gotten no response from any of those folks, by the way, saying, hey, thanks for your email, thanks for your concern, she's fine. Nothing. I guess things in Africa just work a little bit different. So anyway, communication is what I'm saying. If you're gonna fall off the radar, you need time for yourself, you need to sort things out, please communicate this to your loved ones, saying, hey, I'm gonna go off the radar for X amount of days. So let people know, so they're not guessing, calling 911, calling the police, the sheriff, hitting everybody that they know that on IG, putting an Amber Alert out, the whole 9 yards. So that there's no like a false, and then you pop up going, I'm fine, I told, you didn't say nothing until 5 days later. Say it from day one, folks, just say it. Save yourself the headache and the embarrassment, okay, of shit hitting the fan, all right? So communicate to people that if you're gonna step off the radar for a certain amount of time, because you need to take care of your own wellness. That's my little bit for communication today. Back to you, Bob.
Alrighty then. So I'm not experiencing the same things that he has. Been married 25 years.
Same woman.
So,
right?
I'm done.
Yeah, he no longer communicates. He knows exactly what he's thinking and doing at all times.
100%.
He just reports in when he needs to.
That's right. It's great.
He's got 2 leashes.
That's okay.
So she can pull
I've
on
been with the
string.
same girl for a long time, so I'm happy.
Well, as long as you're happy, brother, that's what's
what
important.
counts, absolutely.
And as long as communication's there and you're still loving each other, and
Yeah.
the heart's still pumping.
Yeah, everything's great.
I'm
lucky.
As long as the heart's still pumping and the love is still there, then I don't believe staying in relationships for the sake of staying in a relationship because you've been together with somebody for a certain amount of time. If it's not there, it's not there, and then don't waste your life staying on something that's dead.
There you go.
If it's not pumping, it's not pumping.
There you go.
Only stay in relationships where both people are in the same party together.
Speaking of relationships and communication,
and pumping.
So got a couple of friends who are psychics, right? So they decided, hey man, one day we decided I'm going to go to a psychic with my friend. So we both walk up to the door, start knocking on it, and my friend goes, hey, and then the lady on their side goes, who is it? So I left. You're supposed to be a psychic.
You're supposed to know who the hell's at your door. Seriously. It's like, everybody's got a cell phone. You know who's calling you, and then you go, who's this? What do you mean, who the fuck is this?
That's right.
It's like, your cell phone, But then sometimes you go, oh, I've got a new phone. Really? Because all you do is just transfer all your contacts. Usually that's how that happens.
Yeah, usually. Yeah.
And then there it is. But I know sometimes glitches. Believe me, tech, glitches, all day long. Tech issues. Technology doesn't save you any time, really.
There you
Doesn't
go.
really help you any further. No. That communication on the tech part, forget about it. Hello. No.
Hey, speaking of communication, I'm glad you brought that up, by the way.
I'm glad I've woken something up in you there.
So anyway, I used to work at a big hospital a long time ago as a medic, and so one day my boss walked in and he goes, "Hey, John, how come you're not working?" I said, "Because I didn't see you coming." Yeah, I know.
Brian, I'll tell
It's
ya.
just disgusting.
Well, anyways, hey, look, we're going to sign off on this one. We're going to come back on another segment. But as always, it's a pleasure. It's fun. Hopefully entertained you a little bit. I know I got a little serious there about communication, but damn it, it is so important. It's actually life-saving. Because you know what? Wars have started because of lack of communication.
There you go.
I mean, if you just study history a little bit, the same shit happened just for the last 2 years. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are. Some foobar shit's been happening in your face. And they're until
Milking
that
cow?
cow comes home, baby. Take charge of your life. Be your own person. Don't be a sheep. Just saying. If you want to be a sheep, acknowledge you're a sheep. But don't pretend you're something else. That's cool. That's solid communication. Don't ever pretend you're something different than what you are. And that's okay, because people can respect that. When you pretend to be something that you're not, that's when you get bit. Just saying. Part of communication.
It is part of communication.
That's all. Peace. He's out. And we'll be back.
Adios.
Hasta luego, bagel.
Dos Vidania.
Oh, and by the way, next segment. If you've ever had a Watsu treatment, we'll talk about that next. If you don't know what Watsu is, look it up. Cheers.